Hello and welcome everyone to a very special episode here at the Gnostic Takeover. We're not in our usual surroundings, you may have noticed. It's one of those very rare days, rare occasions in our journey with the plant medicine that me and Liz get to have a sort of like a day off. Well, there's never a day off with the plant medicine. However, we took the chance to come to the city of Linz. This is the third largest city in Austria, and after Vienna and Graz, and this is sort of like where everything started for me. Not really, it goes much further back. It always goes further back depending how you want to see it. We are guided throughout our lives in a particular direction, but this is where I want to pick it up. Here in the city of Linz, where I'm going to walk now, is where everything started in May 2020, after the COVID crisis hit the shores of Austria, also in the country that I've been living in my entire life. The international crisis, as we all know. And I began public speaking after doing a nearly 1 year tour throughout Austria, talking about the 5G digital matrix implementation. I was already warning in my 5G talks that digital totalitarianism was going to make our lives much more uncomfortable, wanting to reduce freedom to zero. And then the whole crisis hit in 2020, as we all know, and I began to speak every single week at the Hauptplatz, where I'm gonna walk you to now. And let us just get a little bit of a view here of this city. By the way, it's not my favorite city, Linz. I don't share a love story with Linz, actually. Actually, not at all. It's not the kind of love that I feel. The amazing feeling of belonging, of having roots that I do when I am in Vienna. I love Vienna. Linz, I really have no connection with it. It's a very strange phenomenon. I was brought up here in this area, but I just, to be quite simple about it, I can't stand it. But still, you know, when the sun's shining, you can make this place also. It's a nice place. And here, right there in the back, this is the Pöstlingberg that you can see here, with a church right at the top, alright, which harnesses the energetics of the land, of this mold, I think you say in English. And the Freemasons of this area in Austria will know more about that. I'm the one here at the Gnostic Takeover who connects the dots on all of the subjects. And again, there's so much happening here with the work that we're doing here. It's very difficult to really describe what the situation is here. As everyone who's been following this channel will know, I've been living for the past coming up to 1.5 years. I've been living at my parents' house. The people closest to me and that have been closest to me throughout my entire life. And through the work, through the medicine work that I've been doing, being able to live in such a close proximity to them has made it possible to find out, like, everything that my whole life has always been about. To actually find out that within this matrix control system, the family unit is something that you should never question. We've got some people here. There's a party going on here. Fantastic. That's the human family. That's the family of mankind. That's what I want to see, right? I have no idea who these people are, but this is sort of an aspect of the new paradigm. Thanks, guys, for that. They really pointed me into that direction. This is one of the things, one of the teachings that the plant medicine is giving me. Is one of the problems we have is culturalization instead of nature. Culture instead of nature. Natural law, natural order. And the fucked up situation that we find ourselves in here in our home on Earth is because we do not put truth at the very foundation and basis of our life. The truth. There's only one truth. And everyone can find out what that one truth is when we walk the path of morality and apply the simplicity of measuring morality according to the parameter of, does it cause harm? When it doesn't cause harm, it is morally right. When it causes harm, it is morally wrong. And this has made me go on a journey with the plant medicine where I was shown that, we were brought up in a satanic culture, in a satanic society, in a society driven by religion and ideology. And you've got all these front religions like Christianity, like Islam, Judaism. You've got all these other kinds of religions, right? All these different divisions of society, and people make a religion of things. Everything is religion, everything is ideology, because everything has to be an ideology when it does not include and when it is not founded on the absolute truth and the simplicity of the absolute truth, which is what we find with natural law principles, the hermetic principles, the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of the one speaking here, finding out the power of the individual within the individual, and finding out how we got so messed up in our thinking, we got so entangled in wrong thinking, that we always think in collectivist terms. Oh, if only we would have so many people backing us. No, you don't need fucking people, you only need yourself. You need true power of the individual. Oh, and if only more people woke up. Well, how about you waking up? I'm still waking up, and I took 14 sessions of ayahuasca in total, 7 of those with datura, and I've woken up to an incredible degree of this dream landscape and how this reality is governed by an unseen force. That this seen reality, okay, where there's cars driving around here, alright, this reality that we can see is actually governed by unseen forces, or by the unseen force. And yeah, it's just been an most incredible journey, to be honest with you, and this is where it all started. Okay, let me give a little bit of a view. This is something different here today. Alright, we're here in the old city of Linz. It's called the Altstadt. Alright, and you've got, as you have with many other cities, you've got mainly bars here, places where you can go out, you know, get a drink, get a beer, get pissed. Why? Because you're pissed with life, because it's a tragedy what has been going on here on earth, and who's the one who's going to take responsibility for this situation? When all of the criminal politicians and the puppet masters that they serve in the background, when they all don't take responsibility, well, guess what? We have to do that. And that's not, oh, you get a job, you go to work, and then you get a house, and then you have an apartment, and you pay the bills. No, we've had that. This is exactly the problem. It's exactly the problem. This is what I hear from my lunatic, psychopathic father, biological father, Christopher, all the time. Oh, he needs to stand on his own feet, Stephen. 34 years old, he needs to stand on his own feet. What he means is I should go back into the slave system, alright? And I didn't make that choice. I made a very different choice. What me and Liz basically did is, this is where the plant medicine guides you to. It was right on the last day where we had to move out from our apartment last year. That was at the end of January 2023. We had to get out of there, alright? And we didn't know where we were going to end up on the day where we moved out. Got all the stuff in a bus, and then we ended up at my parents' place. And people will say, oh, how kind of your parents to take you, and you've been living with them for such a long time. This is the matrix thinking. Okay, this is the sort of programmed pattern that we've been accustomed to think. So from that point of view, me and Liz are the biggest parasites going. Oh my goodness, you've been living for nearly 1.5 years at your parents' house, and all you do is make videos exposing your mother as the satanic high priestess that she is. Interesting. Oh, people would just say, okay, another matrix thinking, another matrix programming is, oh, it's just a coincidence. No, it's fucking not. It's not a coincidence. Everything is synchronistically connected in this reality. And then, of course, you have to get laughed at by people who haven't got a fucking clue what's going on here. Alright? People think, well, what are you doing? You're living at your parents' home and you're exposing them in your videos. What are you doing? How about I'm walking the path of the truth? How about there is no other choice than me doing that? Because it is the truth. And because you walk that path of the truth, okay, and we've been threatened with everything. We've been threatened with police. We've been threatened with bailiffs. We've been threatened with emergency showing up at the door, wanting to take us in, you know, basically take us out. Nothing has happened. Why is that? but of the power of the individual. Because they can't take us out. Because who do they think they're up against? Alright, I know who I'm up against. Okay, I've already said it, the High Priestess of Satanism and her husband, alright, as a sort of high priest of Satanism. And this is what I've found out, okay? And who do they think that they're up against? Do you think that the earth, alright, when we here at the Gnostic Takeover, me and Liz, we've been tasked, we've been given the order of the earth as an awareness, as a neural network of sentience, of intelligence that be far beyond the imagination of what anyone can conceive of. We've been given the order to take down the criminal, satanic, paedophile class, the pedo-satanic criminal network that have been ruining this planet, who don't take no responsibility for the genocide that they've perpetuated on this earth. And we're the fucking ones to take them down. How about that? How about that for a story? And here we are. This is why I'm standing here right now speaking to you, because this is where everything started. I'm at the main square here in Linz now, where I was speaking for one whole year. I'm gonna show you, alright, I'm gonna show you around now. This is the Hauptplatz. Okay? And right here, alright, right here, this right here, there, this spot is where the stage was of the festival, and always in front of that massive monument. I did the job. I stood right there, alright, I stood there in front of the police every single week. I spoke the truth. I told them they're criminals. They're working for a criminal organization that's run by a bunch of Satanists in the background. Pedophiles. I said everything. I talked about natural law like every week. Can you imagine? Every week you've got like at least 20-minute speaking time. There's a whole lot of things you can get into. And I just did it and nothing ever happened to me. They fined me for not wearing a muzzle the whole time. And it was a massive circus, an unbelievable circus that was going on here. You know, I mean, there's just so much things to get into. You know, you have to imagine that right here, okay, as you can see here, this is where we were just now, in front of this monument at the main square. Okay, this is where I would always speak. And I got to know the people there. It was the festival of Linz. It was well known throughout Austria, right, that you can't mess with the people in Linz here. They got a demonstration going on every single week. That was the only city in Austria to do so. The longest running demonstration in succession every single week, as I said. And I came to find out that every single one of the people that I got to know there, alright, forget about people that I just talked with once or so, but the main people organizing this event here, the demonstration against the COVIDian cult, against the Soviet regime and the fascistic totalitarian system that they were implementing with the muzzle. All of them were controlled opposition. All of them. And they had a plan set up, okay, to get me arrested. Alright, to get me be thrown in a prison for speaking here at this point. That was their plan. And they played this card by arresting the main organizer of this Festival of Freedom in Linz, and they, according to their narrative, he was imprisoned for many months. I'm not up to date with the situation, but he had many other things that he was also accused of, having lots of court cases and fines, like all this stuff, and they wanted to do the same with me, but they can't, they couldn't, because everything runs on awareness. Everything is based on your mind pattern, on your perception of reality, and then you don't create that reality into existence where they lock you up. So systematically I was guided by the plant medicine, engaged in a controlled opposition operation that ran this whole so-called resistance movement, where I could speak on a stage every week for 1 year. The plant medicine guided me through that. I never paid a single fine, except the one time where the police, as many people will know on the channel, they raided our place on the 28th of February 2022, and they stole Liz's child, Leonie, and they threatened to put me in a cage if I don't pay them 757 euros. So I paid that, but I had fines rising up to the 10,000s, okay? 10,000 euros. Never paid them, and the entire operation to get me arrested failed. So I just want to show you here. This is not a coincidence also. You know this famous sequence, 369, 1693? I can't tell you the exact background of it, but it's more important to know that there's something special about this place here. Right? Can you see these? There's like a mirror. Yeah, those have been added the last months or so. It was only last month that I saw them. Yeah, and this is where it all took place here. And me and Liz were guided since the very beginning of this COVID crisis. We were guided to do this job, and we can only do it together, alright? It's a massive project. 2 people, male and female, taking down the whole criminal, satanic, pedophile network through natural intelligence. Takes down artificial intelligence. They're behind the artificial intelligence, they're behind the 5G smart city technology, the technological takeover that they plan of the earth, replacing so-called democracy with technocracy. It's been a slow process, alright, building toward that aim. All of you will know about that. The United Nations, the European Union, all that. Not going to get into that today. And me and Liz were guided to meet each other actually about 3 years ago. That happened. About 3 years ago. Me and Liz we got to know each other, and straight away on the first day all of Liz's tires from her car were slashed. The first day that me and Liz got to know each other. Oh, hang on a minute, this has never happened in my life before. I get to know this woman and all her tires are slashed by this criminal network. So looking back at it now, I'm like, of course, if you're gonna do this, if you're really involved in, as I say, a takeover, we're taking over the entire system from here in Austria. I know it sounds completely out of this world, but the one thing we're lacking as mankind is a holistic approach and a holistic way of thinking. This is what we lack. Maybe we need more of that. Maybe we need a greater vision. Maybe it's okay to be intelligent. Maybe it's good to feed that intelligence, make it grow better, make it strong, let the energy of the source of intelligence flow right through you. Let the heart inform the brain instead of the mind virus, the reptilian brain of the mind. Suppress the heart. How about that? And maybe we get somewhere. And the solution is not to be on the same page and to find common ground and have unity. This is all Archon language. This is all Archon manipulation, because then you're always dependent on somebody else or on something else outside of you. You always have to wait for others to get it. Oh, and it's not enough to be 10,000 people at the demonstration. Only if we were, only if, only if, only if. It's the mindfuck matrix, a spell that we've been put under by this archontic force that infiltrates and controls every single resistance movement here on Earth. And this is what I made the direct experience, that all the people who are majorly involved, and when someone like me comes around who cannot be controlled, I can't be controlled, I'm not paid by anyone to do this. In fact, it's by sheer magic and guidance of the plant medicine that I even still exist here. I dropped my studies 6.5 years ago. People told me, oh, you'll have to get a job. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't live your life like that. And I never freaking got a job. I'm still going. Because it's life force. It's life force. Our life force, our power, our imaginative power, our vision, our mind. That's the greatest resource of all. The mind and the heart that informs the mind when it's not suppressed. This is what takes them down. This is the takeover. We're taking over the entire system that has been run at the very peak of this pyramid by the satanic high priestess Maria Weibrow Hoffmeyer. That is my mother, my biological mother. And I'm taking over as I'm speaking. Massive development in that regard. So the takeover here on Earth is taking place here in Austria. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family about it. And if it's only the network listening in on this, because I haven't got a clue who's watching these videos. Happy if other people, feel blessed that you are watching this video, because this channel is so deeply suppressed. Completely deeply suppressed, because they don't want this information out there. That's why the viewer count is always only going down. That's why the people that click the subscribe button here on this channel is only always going down. It's never going up. You see, no one interviews the Gnostic Takeover. Why? Because it's under lockdown. Completely energetically controlled, ultimately, by the plant medicine, because it all serves a learning lesson, it all serves a purpose. Ultimately, it's all still being put under wraps. So feel blessed when you're already watching and following the Gnostic Takeover. You've seen nothing yet. Nothing. Go and watch what's going to happen soon. Go and watch what's going to happen soon. And then, maybe then, you'll know what I was always talking about. The sheer, and I'm still finding out myself, the sheer power that lies only within the individual. And they have continuously, perpetually infiltrated our minds to think in collectivist terms throughout the alternative media, everywhere. It's mind control. It's always demoralizing people. This is what Mark Passio does, talking about natural law. And then he just demoralizes people. David Icke demoralizes people in his own way. Always more and more people waking up. You're not fucking awake, David. How do I know? Because guess what? I don't claim to be awake. I am in the process of waking up. It's a very, very different terminology and way of seeing things. And I tell you, it's all about one individual, in our case 2 individual, fully waking up to our power, and then the whole tide turns. The entire energetic dynamic turns against the enemies of life. And then they're toasted, then they're nothing. So yeah, I showed you where it all started. Alright, still taking a nice walk here in Linz. And then we're gonna head back to the battlefield. Alright, the home where I grew up in. Not my problem, okay? This is just the way things are. They've tried everything to get us out of that house. Put us into a mental institution. They tried over and over again. They're still threatening. Still threatening with the courts, the court system, eviction and all that. I can see through their whole game. It's all a bluff. Everything is a bluff. What they do. Everything that they say is a lie. To imagine, to wake up to the fact that your parents, mother and father, are constantly lying to you when you speak to them, constantly trying to manipulate you, constantly trying to manipulate your perception of the situation. People have no idea what goes on in this house where I grew up in, where we've stayed nearly 1.5 years now. Alright, we made the stand in that house because you have to confront the very top of this control system. You have to confront them, and you have to stand your ground no matter what. We've been through some thing or two. I mean, incredible. 52 days of fasting, 52 days in winter, and this is what propelled us into the position that we're in now. Interesting. I think I just saw someone I went to school with. So, yeah. It's been so difficult. But it's just, with time, everything becomes normal. It's normal, Yeah, my satanic high priestess and satanic high priest, okay, they're my parents, of course. I'm quadruple Aries, of course. I'm the beginner, I'm the initiator. In that sense, that's the energy that flows through me. I always looked around, it's like, where's it going to happen? And of course I had to look in the mirror. What's going to happen with me? I can't wait for anyone to make it happen for me. So yeah, it's all going to be started from here in Austria. And we've reached a point now where we've lost all fear. All the fear has been lost. And we've lost all the fear because of the depth of decoding that we have of the situation. So now, this is the very, very latest of what we know, what is happening, what has been going on here on Earth. What the takeover is all about, what the new Earth is all about, and what people term as we're moving up into the 5th dimension from the 3rd dimension. This ascension process is actually, in actual fact, hey, there's Liz. Gonna visit Liz now. What it actually is that we're moving from one area of the mind, from one area of the brain, into another area of the brain. That's the ascension. For the mind, the structure of the brain is the projector of our reality. Everything that we see outside here, you can only see this because of your mind. You see this on your laptop computer, on your smartphone, tablet, whatever technology you're using. You can only see this because of a few cubic centimeters within your brain, your sensory system, and the sense of seeing. It all happens in the mind, it all happens in the brain. All sensory systems are transformed as information in the mind, and then it gets projected as reality. And we've been living in a matrix control system that is run by the reptilian brain, the R complex. Go and look up the main traits of the R complex and you'll recognize human society. Strictly hierarchical, all right, subordination, master-slave mentality, territoriality, ownership, all right. It explains the whole money system, everything. And what we're moving into now in the new earth is by eliminating and nullifying and actually, how shall I say, neutralizing the effect of the reptilian brain. This is what me and Liz have been guided to do by the plant medicine work, and we've been doing this now for 2.5 years at least, of facing our fears. This is how you get rid of the reptilian brain, is to face your fears. Face all of the fears. And so what has been going on in our situation is that me and Liz are representatives of the neocortex. Okay? This is the part of the brain that's responsible for higher thinking, for higher intelligence, higher order, natural order, the implementation of natural order. The takeover that I'm speaking about is not only the takeover of the heart from this mind virus, but the heart works in symbiosis together with the mind. So in that sense, it's a takeover of the neocortex. The neocortex that takes over the command center back from the reptilian brain. Because guess what? It all comes together. In traumatization, when you're traumatized, the brain gets reset to another way of functioning. All right, it goes back to survival mode because of another synchronicity. A woman walking by, talking, saying my name. Just a distraction from what I'm saying. So when you're traumatized, the brain switches to survival mode, and this is why everyone here on earth is traumatized. So they're kept in survival mode the whole time. This is why they set up the monetary system, because it keeps you under control, it keeps you in survival mode, and nobody here on earth goes and heals their trauma. So then, through the traumatization, the left brain, right brain balance is eliminated, and you get an imbalanced brain. So I don't want to get into too many details. It's a fact when you look at our society that the command center of the brain, where everything happens, where our world is projected into the outside world, so to say. It's the experiential realm, but this has its origin within ourselves. Okay, that's why people, everything is based on mindset, on mentality, right? When the new age says, when you think positively, positive things will come to you. Well, there's more than that, but it's to have a constructive, positive mentality creates a positive vision, creates a positive future. Whereas when you're negative, depressed, you'll get that reflected back to you as you're experienced outside reality. So what it is that the command center of the mind is being switched back to its origin. This is actually the Great Reset, not by the World Economic Forum. You're hearing the right context of what's happening here on Earth, here at the Gnostic Takeover. The Great Reset, what they talk about, is really the reset. It's a reality reset. You transcend the matrix control system, the simulation that is the matrix. You transcend that matrix by walking out of Plato's cave, out into the outside world, into reality. So you transcend from the simulation into reality. And you do that by switching, and this is a long process, me and Liz have been through this for 2.5 years, by switching the command center, the part of the brain that is given the command function. You switch it from the reptilian brain, the R complex, to the neocortex, where both hemispheres of the brain work in unison, unified, the unification of the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, and then the heart gives the information to the brain, to the neocortex as the command center, and everything is put back to natural order, and everything has its order in place how it should be. So we shouldn't be at all surprised that the world has been so fucked up when the command function has not been where it has to be, namely at the neocortex that is informed by the heart. So maybe Liz wants to share her experience of what all of this means. Reptilian brain, our complex, the neocortex. What's important for people to know? Why is it so important to heal your trauma?
Because otherwise you don't have the right connection between the right and the left brain side. And if you if you have an imbalance of these two
hemispheres,
you can't process information. You can't create your own reality because you feel, how could I say, because of this imbalance, you are not able to stand in your power.
And the fear takes you over.
The fear takes you over.
Where does the fear come from?
From the reptilian brain side.
Why does it feel fear? Why is there fear of the reptilian brain?
There's this part of the brain, it's for our survival.
Yeah.
And you come in a survival mode where you always look if there is a danger
in your environment.
And you are always in this input mode.
And you never actually process information.
The information, and so you create the outcome you want to have.
Mm.
And this is why our society is a system with system traumatized in the childhood, during the birth, for example, because as how could I say, the traumatization have to begin in the early times, as you are a baby or maybe before. because otherwise it doesn't work. The disconnection or the dysfunction of the brain like this. Yeah. And if you look in this as a society, they are most of the people, or the whole of the people, are in some kind of survival mode, and they cannot process information properly as they should to make the right decisions, and they subordinate themselves to others. They give their power away because they have to survive, because they have to feed their children, because they have to feed their pets, they have to pay their rents and so on. And they don't ask themselves, do I really want to do this? Does this job or this responsibility satisfy me? Fulfill me? No, I have to survive because this is what my parents show me that I have to survive. This is because my grandparents show me they have to survive too.
It's a matrix that's given from one generation to the other.
Next one. And we are in some luxury that we are asked ourselves, do we have really to do this? And if not, what kind of solution can I do for me and maybe for others as I want to go this way? Because there have to be an exit of this matrix. And they have this slavery system have to come to an end. Because no one, no one has to be a slave of their family, of their expectation of the parents, or for himself as a slave, because they have to survive.
Beautifully put. So what I also want to emphasize is that it's fucking hard. It's really hard to get out of this matrix simulation. And I would not have been able to see through the real awareness that's driving my parents, this archon consciousness is a hive mind. Okay, there's a whole nother topic there, the difference between consciousness as a hive mind and awareness. Always, I'm just gonna say this, always be wary of people who use the term consciousness. Alright, it's not the same as awareness. It's fucking hard, and me and Liz, we've been banging on with this, and so often here on the Gnostic Takeover I said, we're on the brink of ending it, we're on the brink of transcending it, and it's all gonna happen now. And then you move to the next stage, and next thing you know is you're embarking on a 52-day fasting trip, which takes you to hell and back again. Whereas before we already thought, it's gonna end soon, must end soon. The next thing comes up. However, now we really never had this feeling before we found the golden formula. And this whole journey with the plant medicine, ayahuasca and datura, it's gonna come to the next level now. And we'll see when that happens. You'll see us in a whole new place, in a whole new environment where we can really set up our base here in Austria and let the whole thing unfold. But I just want to emphasize how fucking difficult it is to transcend the matrix control system. And I have so much empathy with people who've got children, 2, 3 kids, even just 1 kid. In this world of slavery, to be able to transcend it, it takes everything you have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say that, just do this and take the magic pill and it will pop you out of the matrix. It doesn't work this way. It takes everything you have. You have to face every lie within you. And with me, I had to face this challenge that I'm not going to be kicked around, pushed around by my own parents. This is where the real mind control works. Also within all families. It's not the politicians. You've never seen a politician in your life. I've never seen a politician. let alone having spoken with one. They're not the ones who control our lives. It's ourselves and our mind control that controls us in our lives and the people surrounding us. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't throw your job away. Oh, you can't embark on living your dreams. Go and live your fucking dreams. Piss them all off. Show them the way it works. Because it's not the point of life to live these slavery lives with slavery jobs and just shut up, don't say anything. Oh, we've got it well here. No, we haven't got it well. We have to take them down. We have us perpetuating this mind control system. So who can I face? This is the intention that I set. Who can I face? Who should I face? What fear can I face? Face the fear. And on the other side of fear is freedom. That's what we need. And not bullshit talk by David Icke and Mark Passio and John Lamlash and all the others in the alternative media. Blah, blah, just talking and we need to wake more people up. Fuck off! You're talking nuts. You're talking bullshit. We ourselves, in our hearts, we have to wake up. This is the true message of awakening. Align your mind. Have right thinking in your mind. That's the big process. That's waking up and not knowing what happened with COVID, and it was such a big con job. So yeah, we do get emotional sometimes, and then I go back to my calm Buddha state. Well, there's no denying there's 4 times Aries and fire inside of me. So yeah, I told the people also today, special occasion, we get to get out of the sort of 3 kilometers circumference where we live. We don't actually get out anywhere, and on a day like this, we can get out into like 25 kilometers away from where we're staying at the moment. And this has been going on for the last year now. Only focus on the inner journey, on the inside world of aligning your thoughts, your emotions and your actions, doing the shadow work, facing your fears, standing your ground, telling them, I don't believe a fucking word that you tell me. I know I'm in the one and only truth, and no court is above me, no judge is above me, no police fucking man is above me. No one, because they're all mind controlled by you, dear princess, high priestess of Satanism. They're all controlled by you, and we don't believe a single word that you say, because you're liars. You are liars, and you need to lie because your ass is being kicked by the truth, and you've seen nothing yet. So, is this it? Some final words from Liz?
It's amazing what a coincidence. I used to work for these stations of the Danube where the ships stand for a while, and it was one of my last jobs I had. I worked for this company, and it was from a safety job. And if you have a good behavior, you would have a job, a very good job, your whole life. Everyone's telling me, because it's a family-friendly company. And for some time, it was my passion. It was my whole life to work for this company.
You had safety.
It was safety, because I was really good at my job, and everyone says you are so lucky to have this job. You will have this job your whole of your life till you go in pension and retired.
Sounds like a nightmare to me.
And yes, it's amazing that you had this job. And now, 10 years away, I say, wow, I'm happy that I don't have this job anymore. It was my life. And 10 years before, I didn't know that I would left this company.
So
I really thought I would maybe get a child, and after getting a child I would get this company again and work my whole life in this company because it's really safety to have this job there.
So what has changed now? So your life is not governed by safety anymore, but what is your life governed by now?
By nature, by my really essence of me and the things I want to do. The things to really interest me, and not because it is a interest of survival. It's governed by my own healing process, and it's governed to get because I want to get my daughter back and have a life with my daughter, a life without slavery. I don't want to make my daughter as a system holder, shareholder, as I was. A slave. Now I saw years ago it has to stop with me and my family nine, that we are always tempted to slave our life because otherwise we are not able to survive.
So I asked you what is governing your life now instead of security and safety. How about the influence of the plant medicine?
Influence. It is a partnership which guides me, give me some kind of safety because I have to trust myself.
Protection, you mean?
Protection. Helps me to see these things through another picture, another way.
Another way of perception.
And guides me everywhere. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, and the trust, that's what I meant. I think that's a very important difference. Before, in the old matrix, we need safety, we need our jobs, and all our life is planned, but what is life and the evolution and flow of life when there's no room for something new to come into your life? Because everything's already fixed, everything's already planned. The next holiday is already planned for the summer, so how can life take you on a journey if everything's planned and fixed? That's why the whole COVID catastrophe and scam is actually the greatest thing that could have happened to mankind. All right, life gives you your greatest gifts disguised as your worst nightmare. It was the best thing that could happen to us because the way the world was going, because of people's fear, not because of the politicians and the Satanists, but because of their fear, being governed by fear. That's why the world was in the wrong place. And letting go of the safety. We don't know when our next paycheck, if you can call it that, will come. But what we have is trust. Been walking this path now for 2.5 years. Everything has always worked out. And afterwards, after the difficult experiences, only afterwards did we realize, well, we had to make that experience and we had to go through that. And this is what life is. Trust and face the fears, because it's all only up here. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing out there. You see? There is nothing out there except what is processed in the mind. And other beings, for other beings it's the same. I'm not saying that other beings are just projections of me. In one way they are, okay? Because reality is decoded by the mind. However, that's also true to every other being. Okay, so I respect everyone as a sentient being, but I know ultimately I'm the one who creates his own reality. This is the transcendence of the simulation. The simulation matrix control system is a collective simulation prison of the mind, whereas you transcend that simulation into original reality where you experience your own reality. You're the commander of your own reality, and there's no judge, there's no politician, there's certainly no fucking satanic high priestess who's above you. Only you, your power that you have within. So yeah, this has been good. This is where I want to wrap this up. I showed you where the festival of Linz happened, right about the time when me and Liz got to know each other. They were all controlled opposition, weren't they? Absolutely crazy. But this is the way how things work. They need control over the flow of information, so they control people's perception. And if only one or two individuals break out of that mind control prison system, the whole matrix gets taken down. This is how we know that no one here on earth has ever yet transcended the matrix. So otherwise it wouldn't be the prison system that it is. So anyways, it's been great talking to you. It's been a special episode here from Linz, and we'll see what happens now. We'll see what happens. For me, a phase is coming to an end. Let's end on this. A phase is coming to an end, and a new phase is coming in, and we're looking forward to that, aren't we?
Yeah. With excitement.
Yeah, excitement.
With gratitude.
Joy.
Joy. And happiness.
We've been through a very difficult time.
The most difficult time in my life. And yeah, it's unbelievable. There's some kind of a little part of the brain who is still programmed to say, no, you said too much before that it's come to an end.
You said that we said so often that it was going to come to an end, and it never ended. Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. But yeah, I trust myself. I trust the plant medicine. And she brought us, or they, because there are two of them, brought us to our last station, or our station where we are still now. And this force will bring us to our home, to the next station. And I can't wait for it.
And why does that have to be? How do we know that we're going to end up in a home without having to pay a dime? How do we know that?
Because everything comes to an end. And we did everything it was asked to do to lead us to this solution or result.
Great. And what I would say is, this is a projection of mind, the outside reality. How do I know that I'm gonna live in a beautiful, wonderful new home? Because where is home? It's not out there. Home is where the heart is. And when I'm in my heart, inside, I'll be in my heart, in my home, where home is where the heart is, outside also. I think that's a good way of ending this video. Thank you to everyone for joining us here once again at the Gnostic Takeover. It's been great having you. See you next time again, and I'll leave a little view of Linz for all of you at the end now. Take very good care till next time. Bye bye.